Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes Bhagavad Gita a day. We are reading from chapter 6, the Yoga of Meditation, and we've reached Arjuna's second question. Verse 37. Arjuna said, "He who is unable to control himself, though he has the faith, and whose mind wanders away from yoga, what end does he, having failed to attain perfection in yoga, meet, O Krishna?" 38. Fallen from both, does he not perish like a rent cloud, supportless, O mighty armed Krishna, deluded on the path of Brahman? 39. This doubt of mine, O Krishna, do thou dispel completely, because it is not possible for any but thee to dispel this doubt. So, as we mentioned before, Arjuna says, okay, so we know what the goal is, it's perfection in yoga, and I'm no longer saying it is impossible, as he said in the previous question, but now I'm saying, okay, maybe it is possible, but maybe I will fail. So what happens to me? And to understand the concern, and especially the words fallen from both that appear in verse 38, we need to recall some verses from chapter 2. We are looking at verse 43 from chapter 2. Basically, we'll just say a few words before we read this verse. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, drop all the rituals for the sake of obtaining something. Do karma yoga, act selflessly, and go on the path of meditation. This is the way to attain to yoga. Develop this equanimity. Do not run after sense objects. Do your duty for the sake of the duty. And slowly you will be qualified to reach the goal, which is meditation. So Arjuna is asked to give something up. And to give something up is the path of ritualistic activity, Swami Sivananda describes to us, in accordance with the karma kanda of the Vedas on the one hand, and instead of this, follow the path of yoga, karma yoga. And verse 43 explains to us what Arjuna is asked to give up. This is chapter 2. Full of desires, having heaven as their goal, they utter speech which is directed to ends, leading to new births as the result of their works, and prescribe various methods abounding in specific actions for the attainment of pleasure and power. So, it might sound familiar already. There are two ways. One way, Swami Sivananda summarized in a very, very beautiful saying, simple living, high thinking. Reduce your desires, reduce your wants, do your duty for the sake of duty. And we said in previous teachings, whether you are a householder like Arjuna, whether you are a renunciate, it is still simple living, high thinking. And reduce your wants. Whereas all around us, what are people doing? Not only they are not working to reduce their wants, they are encouraging themselves to increase their wants so that they will have more and more and more and more. So this is an ancient old truth. Truth for our period, truth for past times, except that in the past, here specifically Arjuna is referring to the karma kanda, the ritualistic path, and the summary of the ritualistic path is this verse 43. Lord Krishna is saying, what do? You do a lot of rituals, and each one of them is directed to attaining something. whether it is heaven after birth, whether it is something here, but basically it's training the mind to do things for the attainment of pleasure and power. And Arjuna is asking, like many of us do, okay, simple living, high thinking, understood. But while I am doing simple living, high thinking, my friends, everyone around me is amassing wealth. And they are doing a lot to increase their possession, their name, and their fame. So here they are, achieving possession, name, and fame, because even Lord Krishna himself says that it's an easier goal. Yes, you do the ritual. If you find a good priest and the priest is doing the ritual properly, you will achieve your goal. So those people will appear to be very successful. They chose their path and they succeed in it. Whereas Arjuna says, on behalf of all of us, okay, I practice simple living, high thinking. So simple living, okay, I can do. But what happens if I'm not able to reach high thinking? What will happen to me? I don't have name and fame. I don't have possession. Maybe my life is more difficult because of the situation with the possession and the money. And I don't have high thinking. So I did not achieve yoga and I did not achieve the worldly goals. What will happen to me? I'm neither here nor there. And in the case of the karma kanda, it's also in the afterlife. I'm not working on getting heaven. So even in the afterlife, who knows? Who knows where I will go? Because, and Arjuna, it will be explained later, who knows what will happen to me because I didn't do the rituals to take me to heaven. All I did was selfless acts. What will happen to me? And this is a question that many people, as they are called to reduce their possessions, encounter. And Lord Krishna is answering this, but before the answer, we will see a little bit more about the question in the next talks. So please join us. Om Shanti.